Hey everyone, Wes here from the Fandom Power Podcast. Welcome to another episode of The Weapons of Star Wars, where we take a brief look at a screen-used prop weapon and compare it to its real-world counterpart. In this video, we'll be looking at a blaster that debuted back in Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, the Blastech DH-17. The DH-17 was used exclusively by military and law enforcement agencies as a close-quarters weapon, particularly where shipboard combat was expected, which it was well suited for given its light weight and high ammunition capacity. Although it's unclear exactly when the DH-17 came into service, the Galactic Empire had adopted it as early as 5 BBY, where it was employed by guards at the Narkina 5 labor facility. And just 5 years later, in 0 BBY, enough DH-17s had fallen into rebel hands that it became the standard issue for the Alliance fleet. The blaster would remain in Alliance service well into the New Republic era, especially by the New Republic Correctional Corps, where it was carried by N5 security droids. By 30 ABY, refurbished DH-17s could still be found in the possession of various bounty hunters and arms dealers throughout the galaxy. The DH-17 is based on the Sterling L2A3 9mm submachine gun. The Sterling was initially tested by the British Army between 1944 and 1945 as a replacement for the Sten, but didn't actually enter service until 1953. Once in service, it would remain the standard issue personal weapon until its replacement by the SA-80 in 1994. A little heavier than the DH-17, the Sterling actually weighs 2.7 kilograms and has a capacity of 34 to 50 rounds depending on the magazine fitted. While the DH-17 was only accurate out to 120 meters, the Sterling could provide effective fire out to 200 meters. For Star Wars, most of the DH-17s were resin castings and not actual blank-firing prop guns like some of the E-11 Stormtrooper rifles. Modifications included the removal of the folding stock and cocking handle, a remolded trigger guard, and the replacement of a new barrel shroud. But perhaps the most interesting change is the addition of the single-point SP-220 gun sight. The SP-220 was the first commercially available red dot sight of its kind. But unlike the modern red dot sight, it came with some noticeable differences. First off, the single point is an OEG, or occluded eye gun sight, which means the shooter keeps both eyes open when using it. This type of gun sight uses some really interesting science to trick the shooter's brain into superimposing the red dot seen by their dominant eye onto the image of the target seen by the shooter's non-dominant eye. It does, however, come with a lot of limitations, as it's not effective for anyone without perfect binocular vision. Unlike the modern red dot, the SP-220 has no sight picture. That means when you look into it, you only see a black field with a red dot floating in it. And the red dot itself is created by ambient light collected by a red fiber optic cable that runs the length of the sight. As one of many rifles based on the Sterling submachine gun, the DH-17 remains distinct and highly recognizable. Even if you didn't know what it was called, I bet you knew it was the Rebel Blaster. If the DH-17 were stamped on a coin, then the E-11 Stormtrooper Blaster would most certainly be stamped on the opposite side. Two weapons synonymous with the struggle between good and evil in the galaxy far, far away, and both based on the same real-world firearm. As the first blaster ever seen on screen, the Blastech DH-17 remains an enduring design. With each new appearance, its history just gets deeper and more rich. Now, with more than 100 appearances in Star Wars media, I'm pretty sure we haven't seen the last of it. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to the channel for even more awesome Star Wars content. And don't forget to like and follow the Fandom Power Podcast on social media.